In this lesson, we'll begin customizing the title block. Alright, so now that our image is here and we've opened up our title block, let's go ahead and make this more ours. So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get a logo in place. So when I scroll in here, you could just use your wheel here and kind of scroll up. You can actually scroll in and out of this page here. But when I come in here, you can see there's already a logo in place here, but it says your logo here, and that's exactly where I want to place my logo. So let's take a look at how this stuff behaves before we start trying to, erase and get rid of some things. So all the images pretty much behave pretty much the same. This gigantic image is going to behave just like this little guy here. So when you click on it, it automatically highlights it. So what you can do is you can actually adjust the size here by grabbing in the corners. So it's moving out and scaling. You can actually feel the snapping motion of all the sizes you can actually work with. So I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to go back to the original. But you can also rotate. So if I just hover right over here, you'll notice a line from that center and that dot. And it'll automatically bring up that little icon that looks like you can rotate. Just click on it, hold it down, and you can start to rotate. And you can even see the degrees you're working with here right next to that rotating icon. So I'm going to go ahead and Control Z one more time to get it back to where it was. And last but not least, if you wanted to move it around, just basically click on it, highlight it, and hover your mouse anywhere. And once you see that move icon right there on your crosshair or your mouse, simply grab it and move it wherever you want to. Easy as that. So let's go ahead and start getting our logo in place. So to bring in an image, other than what we're working with here in our model space, it's pretty easy. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and say Insert. So we'll go ahead and go to File. And when you go down about halfway down, go to Insert. And I want to go with Company Logo. This will actually be in your project files. So we'll say OK. And like magic, it appears right over our image. Now, our other image didn't go away. It's actually right below that. And that's because everything's pretty much set up in layers. So you can see here right now we're on the default layer. So we can actually change the orientation and the placement of things. So if I wanted to right click and I wanted to actually change how this was arranged and I wanted to move this to the back, if I go move backwards, you'll see that image that was behind it appears and it puts it behind that. So just keep that in mind when you're working with images. Now we'll get more into the images a little bit later, but just thought I'd show you that while we're here. So what I want to do now is I want to resize this and I want to rotate it, kind of like we discussed momentarily or a moment ago, and I want to place it right in here, roughly about the same size as that. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down by grabbing my corner. And I'm going to use the corner so I don't get any kind of weird distortion. I'm just going to bring it right down. Now if you want to change it going this way, you can adjust it like this, but then you get that weird distortion, and I really don't want that in my thing here. I want it to be pretty original, or as close to the original image as I want it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate it, give it a quick 90-degree rotate, like so. Once I get it to 90 here, let's try that one more time. It gets a little choppy when you get to there because it's in decimals pretty much. It's working with that precision. So I'm going to get back here to my 90 and boom. Haha. That took a little while, but it's okay. So now we're going to use our move tool. So now I can move this, but I'm going to kind of move it from this corner. I'm going to kind of align it with the corner in here. Now if I want to zoom in to get a better view, again, just use our wheel. We can get a better view of what we're trying to do here. I'm just going to place them like there. And you'll notice that green dot, it basically snapped into that corner. So now I'm going to grab this guy here, bring him on in, and I'm going to try to match the size that I have for that original icon. And that works for me. And now pretty much that placement is where I want it to be. And I really don't need this one anymore. So I can right click, I can say delete, and that's how we can get rid of our icons there. So now I'm going to just move this back over just a few clicks. Click, click. Well, get it about the center. There we go. We have our logo in place. So now I want to add some more information. So let me scroll out here. So if we wanted to change our page name, we'll keep it to A01. This will be our first architectural plan here. Not sure what we'll have on there yet, but we'll probably cover that in the next lesson. But if I did want to go ahead and change this, you can do so just simply by double clicking it. Either one of these. So you could click it and then click it, double click it, and it'll actually allow you to kind of highlight what's in there and you can change that page number. So if I want to change the format of this page number here, I don't want it to be a 01. I just want it to be a 1. I could just type in the number 1 right over whatever was in those parentheses there. If you hit enter, it'll actually move it up, basically allow you to add another line. So you really don't want to hit enter. You can hit escape and it'll actually basically finish off that command you're working with. So that's how you can actually work with your page numbers. So also we can mess with the page description. So for this first one, let's say for the first one we'll actually have perspectives and elevations. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, and I'm going to say mixed use concept, and I'll hit enter if I want to go back down another line. And what I'll call this one, it'll be our perspectives and elevations. So we'll say perspectives and elevations. Again, I hit escape and we'll automatically format it to go back where it needs to go. So we can come back here, we'll give it a project title again, so just double click it, type in the title. In our case, we'll say mixed use commercial, and escape to kind of accept it, and there we go. And you can even come up here wherever you needed to, maybe you had some revisions or something. So if I wanted to do revisions, I'll just follow this format, month, day, and year. So I can double click in here, and I'll basically highlight that area, and I'm going to say 01 for January. And we can type in a date here. You can backspace even to go in there. We'll say 15th. You can put the year if you wanted to. And then if you wanted to add notes about that revision, I can just come in here, double click in that area, and then I can say redesigned lobby layout. So that could be our revisions. We can actually keep track of all that. So again, hit escape, it'll stick, and we are in business. So it's easy as that. So you can see how you can actually come in here and kind of customize things as you go. And the more information you have, you may want to plug in there. You can just follow that same format, hitting enter to do multi-lines, or you could pick a different template that has a little bit more complex than the one we have here. But the rules of the engagement are pretty much the same. So in the next lesson, we're going to continue working with this title block a little more. I'm going to show you how we can adjust and kind of customize the letters, but I'm also going to show you how we can use layers and also add some additional pages to our layout here.